Hello and welcome to the CS Global Partners channel, where you'll find the latest news updates in the investment immigration industry. I'm Georgina Ray and I am the investment immigration reporter at CS Global Partners. This is episode 1 of our 3-part series discussing the basics about the investment immigration industry. In this video we will look at what citizenship by investment is, the benefits of having dual citizenship, and we will also touch on the difference between citizenship by investment and residency by investment. So if you want to know more, keep watching. So let's dive right in. What is citizenship by investment? Citizenship by investment programs offer the opportunity for individuals to legally obtain a new nationality in return for an investment in the economy of the host country. This process aims to be relatively smooth, provided that the investor provides all the necessary documentation, passes all the necessary due diligence checks first, and makes the qualifying investment. The investment made by that individual is often put towards improving the quality of life for those inhabiting the host country. The St Kitts and Nevis CBI programme started in 1984 and was the first of its kind. The CBI programme has been in operation for over 30 years, and funds from the programme, including the programme's Sustainable Growth Fund, have allowed the Twin Islands to prosper, whilst investors equally benefit from citizenship of St Kitts and Nevis. Since then, many CBI programmes have followed. In episode 2 of this series, I will explain what citizenship by investment programs there are on offer around the world, and the requirements that you'll have to meet in order to apply. So if you want to know more about this, subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss our next video. There are several benefits to obtaining dual or even triple citizenship through these investment immigration programs. Micah Emmett, CEO of CS Global Partners, established the company in 2012. Micah is a dual qualified lawyer and joined me to discuss the benefits of having dual citizenship.
So I've been in the citizenship by investment industry for over a decade, and I've seen a huge change in that the industry has grown substantially in the last sort of 10 years, particularly around 2012 when there was the Arab Spring. And I think it put a lot of focus on the advantages of citizenship by investment. Before that, it was a much smaller industry. There were only 2 or 3 programs, like the St. Kitts and Nevis Citizenship by Investment Program, the Dominica Economic Citizenship Program. And, you know, they weren't well known, they weren't out there, people didn't understand how they worked. So I think the dynamic really changed in 2012 when people started realizing, wait, there are options out there, and they're pretty good options too. Where we are now, we have a lot of citizenship and residence programs available in the market, which gives choices to individuals and their families. However, interestingly enough, you know, the programs of St. Kitts and Dominica tend to still be the most popular and most trusted. So it says a lot for their endurance, you know, in the market.
So can you talk to me about how, for you personally, the citizenship by investment industry has changed in your experience of that?
Well, the citizenship by investment industry has certainly grown considerably in the last, 10 years. And we've seen a lot of new players come on board, some really good, legitimate, strong competitors. At the same time, I think the industry also has invited a number of, one-man show type scenarios, which I always worry because, you want your client to get the best advice, and advice, requires really understanding the investor immigration industry. So it's not just about citizenship, it's not just about investment, it really is also about the process that we walk the client through. And I'm quite passionate about that. And it's one of the reasons when I set up CS Global Partners, we created a dedicated legal department so that clients could feel supported in the way that they are walked through the process, the quality of application that's submitted to the unit, because that's quite important. That is really the unit then makes a decision on what's put forward. And that's, I feel, we need to focus a little bit more on that in terms of the quality of what we put forward as providers. Quite interesting to see how many new citizenship buy-in programs have been introduced into the industry, as well as residence buy investment programs. And it's great because it does offer options to clients. So let's see, what the future holds. I mean, it's quite an exciting space. We'll definitely see more countries come on board with programs. But at the same time, I think there is a greater appetite from people looking for second citizenship.
Do you think that's because of whether it's been the pandemic or anything along those lines? Do you think that there was a point where everything flipped? Now it will be a huge influx of people wanting second citizenship?
So I think, yes, the pandemic was definitely integral in changing the conversation. I think the people who were traditionally seekers of second citizenship remains a large audience of takers. But certainly the pandemic got people thinking about their lives and where they're at and what their needs are. So with the pandemic, we've seen a whole new section of, people coming along and wanting to find second citizenship. So it's definitely shifted the market considerably. And it's quite exciting because, we'll see people coming from the States and from Europe and from all around the world, understanding more and more why it is so important to have a second citizenship. I'm very passionate about this industry and the idea of second citizenship or an alternative citizenship. And the reason is that in the world we live in today, we have a global community. So we want to really invite everyone to be part of that global community so that we're all speaking from the same pulpit, where we're sharing the same experiences and we're working together towards a better humanity. So I feel if we can be more inclusive, which is what an alternative citizenship can provide, it allows for better conversations, it allows for better business transactions. And this is really, the overriding reason for why I feel quite strongly about the industry.
So can you talk to me about the benefits of having dual citizenship?
So I like to divide it into three pillars to make it easy to understand how citizenship can be an advantage to you. And the three pillars are lifestyle and accessibility, financial planning, and then physical safety and security. So I'll walk you through each of those individually. So the first pillar is lifestyle and accessibility. And when you think of lifestyle, you first think of, beaches, house on the beach. But the pandemic has really focused our mind on issues like medical care. So I think in the last year, people have changed the way of looking at that or answering that question of having a second citizenship. They realize that, they want to be part of communities or countries where they have the security of a solid medical system, they have accessibility to it. And that then also feeds into the issue of education, because this has focused our minds on how the pandemic can change things in a minute. And you want to give the best to your children. I mean, that's inherently our nature as human beings. So education is a very important aspect of that lifestyle conversation. And I feel that by holding a second citizenship, it opens up a number of opportunities for families and their children. The other aspect of lifestyle and accessibility, of course, is movement, mobility. So global mobility is always highlighted when it comes to benefits of second citizenship. And the reason being is, when you're stuck in a place, you can't move, you want to grow your business globally. So having a second citizenship that allows that accessibility certainly gives a lot of opportunity to the person who's taken it. Visa-free travel it just makes life a lot easier. And so that conversation of global mobility is quite important to many people.
Can you talk to me about the second pillar?
So the second pillar is financial planning, and it's really about securing your wealth. It's quite simple, the saying, don't keep all your eggs in one basket. It's really about that. So it's about diversifying your wealth and your assets and giving your children opportunity in the long run to benefit from that. So by having a second citizenship, you have options. You have options in terms of that financial planning. You have options in terms of, your business outlook. It also just gives you a greater global footprint in terms of going and doing business deals and being part of a larger global business community.
Perfect. Can you also talk to me about the final pillar?
The final pillar is quite a serious one because it's physical safety and security. And I would not wish this on anyone, that they would have to suddenly flee from the country they live due to the fact that their physical safety is now endangered. But we need to be realistic, and we live in a world that moves very fast. Regardless, if you look back in history, there are numerous moments in time where everyday people who are hardworking business people, entrepreneurs, who've had to flee the country that they live in, or they've been faced with real challenges. So this pillar is about survival, and it's human nature to seek security. So we want to make sure that you've got that plan B that protects you and your family in the long run. And I think it's probably the most important reason, because like any insurance policy, it's there when things go bad.
It is important to explain why citizenship by investment and residency by investment are two different processes. In the final episode of this series, we will discuss some of the many residency investment programs available. The key difference is citizenship by investment programs offer invested citizenship. In most cases, this is within a few months of applying if the requirements have been met. Once you have successfully passed this process and have obtained your certificate of naturalisation or registration, you can apply for a passport. Usually citizenship of the host country is held for life, and you do not have to live there, but you can if you want to. And citizens are entitled to possess property in the host country and access basic social services there. However, residency by investment programs only offer residency to the investor, namely the right to live and sometimes work in a country. After a number of years of living in that particular country, it is often possible to apply for citizenship through naturalisation in an altogether separate process, often with added requirements such as learning a language. Resident status can be more easily removed, often depending on if you have fulfilled the minimum physical presence requirements. This is the basic information for what you need to know about the investment immigration industry. Do you have dual citizenship or a second residency? If you do, please let me know in the comments section below from which country and why you chose it. So thank you so much for watching episode 1 of this 3-part series, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that you're notified about our upcoming videos.